welcome to, I guess you could call this your deep dive. We're going to try to go deep on something that's, well, it's huge in the tech world. We're talking about Amazon Web Services.
AWS.
AWS, exactly.
And if you're thinking right now, the cloud, isn't that just where my cat photos go? You're actually in the right place.
We're starting simple today.
We are. We're going to break it all down, why this matters, even if you aren't, planning to become like a coding master or anything like that. And to help us with this deep dive, we are referencing a popular tech YouTuber. His name's Networkchuck.
Yeah, and he does not mess around. I mean, this video we watched, the title alone, you need to learn AWS right now.
2 exclamation points.
So clearly, he's onto something.
He's definitely onto something.
But before we, hand over all our data, our digital lives to Amazon,
Right.
what is it about AWS that's so special? It's got to be more than just renting computers from Amazon, like he says at the beginning, right?
It is, yeah. It's way more than that. Okay, so remember Blockbuster back in the day? Imagine if instead of renting the physical DVDs, you could rent their entire inventory of movies, all their staff, even their snack selection.
Okay.
But you only paid for the movies you actually watched and the snacks you ate.
That's a good deal.
Right. That's kind of what AWS is doing for these companies. That flexibility, that cost-saving power, that's huge.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the appeal here, but Networkchuck, he dives right into that why should you care part.
He does.
And honestly, that's what I care about too. What's the takeaway for me?
And he's smart to do that because, again, it's not hype. And he backs it up. He has all these articles that he references from LinkedIn, Business Insider, Global Knowledge. Are you seeing a pattern?
Big names.
Big players. And they're all saying the same thing, which is that cloud computing skills are basically like digital gold right now.
So you're saying, even if I'm not, fluent in Python or whatever, just understanding this stuff makes me more employable, more valuable.
Way more than you think. This isn't some niche tech thing anymore. We're talking healthcare, finance, even your grandma's cookie recipe website.
Okay.
All of those things run on this stuff behind the scenes. So even knowing the basics, huge leg up.
Okay, and speaking of leg up, Networkchuck did mention that Dice Tech salary report, I think it was called.
Yes.
And apparently, cloud engineers are averaging something like $128,000 a year.
Yeah, you see? I told you.
Now I'm really interested. Okay, so how do we get in on this action?
Yeah.
Networkchuck, he dives into setting up this thing called a virtual machine.
Yes.
And full disclosure, sounded kind of terrifying to me.
It sounds scary, I know, but it's really not. It's like the training wheels of the AWS world, right?
Yeah.
So a virtual machine, it's basically like a little mini computer inside Amazon's cloud.
Okay.
And you can experiment with stuff on there without, the risk of crashing your actual computer.
Got it.
Networkchuck makes it look super easy, and it's just a great way to get your hands dirty with this stuff. No real risk involved.
And there's a free tier for new users. Yeah. So I can, play around without spending anything.
Exactly. That's the best part.
I like the sound of that. What kind of playing around are we talking, though? I am more of a click buttons until it works kind of tech person.
That's the beauty. There are tools for every level, right? So you can drag and drop, you can write code if you're feeling adventurous. But honestly, for someone just starting out, just getting a feel for how the AWS environment works, that's huge.
Okay, so say I've built my little Lego castle in the cloud. I'm feeling confident. What's next? Networkchuck mentioned these certifications, right?
He did.
Are those important?
Yes.
Okay.
Think of it like this. In a world of, resumes, right? Everyone's got one. A certification, that's like a neon sign flashing, I speak cloud.
It's like a signal boost.
Exactly. It shows employers you've gone beyond just, dabbling.
Makes sense. Especially for someone like me who, doesn't have a computer science degree plastered all over their resume. Yes. It's like a shortcut to proving you know what you're doing.
Exactly. And don't underestimate that, beginner certification. That's your ticket into the game. And then once you're, comfortable, Networkchuck, he recommends you level up to the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate. That one's intense.
Okay, so this is like boss level certification.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
This is for the people who are serious about designing and deploying systems on AWS. You've graduated from building the Lego castle to designing the whole theme park.
Boy, okay.
That's the Solutions Architect Associate.
So let's rewind for a second. We were talking about the virtual machines before, right?
Yeah.
And I get that they're great for experimenting, but is that all they're good for? It seems like there's got to be more to it.
Oh, you are so right. That's where things get really interesting. Imagine you need to test a piece of software, right? But you don't want to risk messing up your own computer. virtual machine to the rescue. Or let's say you're launching a website and you need this like flexible way to host it that can handle, tons of traffic. Virtual machines again.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. So it's not just like a toy for techies.
No.
It's solving actual problems for businesses.
Exactly. And individuals. Depending on how fancy your website is.
True. That's what's so cool about all of this. It's not just about code. It's about solving problems.
Yes. It's about being creative.
It's about understanding how this stuff can be used to actually, like, build things and make things better and do things differently.
You got it.
Network Chuck definitely has that innovator vibe.
He does.
I'm curious, though, beyond his recommendations, are there other ways to, like, get into AWS? Other places to learn? Because, not everyone learns the same way.
That's such a good point. And you're right, not everyone learns the same way. And Network Chuck's courses are great, like a really great starting point. But the world of AWS education, it's massive. There's so much out there. I mean, we're talking online courses, boot camps. Even universities now are offering special programs just for this.
It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Not at all.
There's a path for everyone, really. You can kind of choose your own adventure.
Exactly. That's what I find so exciting about all this, because it's constantly, like, evolving. There's always something new to learn, a new skill to master, It's about being a lifelong learner in this field.
It's not even just about learning AWS as it exists right now.
Right.
It's about being prepared for whatever comes next, for how it changes.
100%. And that's what makes this so different from, like, other tech things that come and go, right? Think about how much the internet has changed even in the last, 10 years.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Right. AWS is like the foundation for that next wave,
So maybe instead of learning the Force, it's more like understanding how to build a lightsaber.
Ooh, I like that.
Even if we don't know what those future Jedi battles are going to look like, you're going to need the right weapon.
And you'll know how to build it.
Exactly.
That's power.
That is cool. And the cool thing is, I mean, we're already starting to see bits and pieces of that, right? Like artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, even stuff that sounds like it's straight out of Star Wars.
I know. It's crazy.
All of that is being powered by this stuff, by cloud platforms like AWS.
It is. It's mind-blowing.
Okay, now you're making me feel like I need to go build a bunker in my backyard and stock up on canned goods.
Yeah.
Like, is this it? Are the robots taking over?
Not quite yet. But honestly, what we're talking about, IS, a big shift, a fundamental shift in how we use and interact with technology.
Yeah.
And with that shift comes huge opportunity. Like, imagine a world where your refrigerator orders your groceries for you based on, like, your dietary needs or whatever.
Right.
Or your car just drives itself while you catch up on work. Or a doctor can, like, diagnose an illness remotely using some AI-powered tool. This is all stuff that's being built right now, and it's all built on cloud computing.
Wow. You're right. When you put it like that, it sounds less like science fiction and more like inevitable.
Right.
Which is kind of exciting, I'm not going to lie.
It is exciting.
A little daunting, but exciting.
It's both, for sure. But that's where knowledge comes in.
Right.
The more we understand these technologies, the better prepared we are to, like, navigate them, you know, and really take advantage of all the good stuff they bring with them.
I feel like this whole conversation's been a huge eye-opener, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I came in thinking AWS was, like, purely for the tech giants and the hardcore coders.
Yeah.
But it really does touch everything. It's kind of amazing. It's like suddenly I'm seeing the Matrix. Like, I can see the code behind everything.
That's what I love about this stuff. And that awareness, understanding even just the basics of how it all works, that's what sets you apart.
Totally.
Because it's not just about what you do anymore. It's about how you do it. And increasingly how means the cloud.
It really does. Yeah. So whether you're watching Network Chuck's videos or maybe you sign up for that free AWS account, even if you're just like reading an article about cloud computing after this,
yes, do it.
You're moving in the right direction.
You are. Any little bit helps, you know? It's about staying curious, keeping up with it all, because in the tech world, there's always something new to learn.
That is the truth. Well said.
Absolutely. It's like, you know how everyone's got a resume? It's like a neon sign flashing, hey, I actually know about the cloud. I speak cloud.
It's like that scene in a movie where suddenly everyone looks the same.
Right.
Except the one person who's different. And that's the person who gets noticed.
Exactly. And the certification, that's your way to stand out.
I like it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Especially since, you know, not all of us are walking around with computer science degrees.
Right.
This is like my way of proving, hey, I might not have the fancy degree, but I know what I'm doing.
You got it. And don't underestimate that beginner certification he talked about, that cloud practitioner one. That's like your ticket in the door. It gets you in the game. And then Network Chuck, he suggests you level up, right?
Mhm.
So once you've got that first one under your belt, you move on to the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate.
So this is like the big leagues.
Pretty much. This is like serious cloud architect stuff. Like, remember those Lego castles we were talking about?
Yeah.
This is like graduating from building them to designing the whole entire theme park.
Whoa.
That's what the Solutions Architect Associate is all about.
Okay, so rewinding for a second. We were talking about the virtual machines before, right?
Yeah.
And like, I get that they're a good place to experiment, but is that all good for? It seems like there's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, you are so right.
Yeah.
That's where things get really cool. Think about it. What if you need to test out a new piece of software, but you don't want to risk messing up your own computer, right? Virtual machine to the rescue.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or let's say you're trying to launch a website and you need a way to host it that can handle a ton of traffic, a ton of people visiting.
Okay.
You need something flexible, right? Something that can scale up. Virtual machines. That's how you do it.
Okay, now that makes sense to me. So it's not just a toy for tech people. It's actually solving real problems
Exactly.
for real companies, and I guess even for individuals too.
Right. It can be, depending on, how fancy your website is.
Exactly. Exactly. See, that's what I love about this whole world. It's not just about the code itself. It's about solving problems.
Yes. And being creative.
Coming up with new solutions, figuring out how to use these tools to actually build things, make things better.
Make the world a better place.
Exactly. Network Chuck, he definitely has that innovator energy.
He does.
But I'm curious, beyond his videos, are there other ways to get into AWS, other places to learn? Because, not everybody learns the same way.
You're so right. And Network Chuck even says it himself. His courses, they're a great place to start, right? Yeah. But there's a whole world of AWS education out there.
There is.
Oh, yeah. It's massive. I'm talking online courses, in-person boot camps. Even some universities now have entire programs dedicated to this stuff.
So it's not like one size fits all.
Not at all.
There's a path for everyone.
Totally. That's what's so cool about it. It's choose your own adventure, but for AWS.
I like it.
And that's actually what I love most about this whole field.
What's that?
It's constantly changing.
That's
There's
true.
always something new to learn, a new skill to figure out, It's about being a lifelong learner.
So it's not even just about learning the AWS of today.
Right.
It's about being prepared for whatever it becomes.
100%. It's about being ready for whatever's next, for how it all evolves. And that's actually that's what makes this so different from those other tech fads that come and go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Think about how much the internet itself has changed in just the last 10 years.
I know.
It's crazy. And AWS, this is the foundation for that next wave.
So maybe instead of learning the Force, it's more like learning how to build a lightsaber.
Ooh, I like that.
Even if we don't know what those future Jedi battles are going to look like,
Yeah.
you need the right weapon, right?
You gotta have the right tools.
And knowing how to build it, that's even better.
Exactly. That's power.
That is power. That's a good point. And what's so cool is we're already starting to see those pieces come together.
We are.
Artificial intelligence, I feel like that's everywhere now. The Internet of Things, even stuff that sounds like it's straight out of a Star Wars movie.
It does.
And it's all that's powered by this stuff, by these platforms like AWS.
I know. It's mind-blowing when you actually think about it. It is. It really is. It's kind of scary, but also really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting that vibe. Should I be excited or terrified? Maybe both.
Laughs.
Yeah.
Probably a little of both, honestly. But no, I mean, we are talking about a pretty big shift here, right? A fundamental shift in how we interact with technology and how we use it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And whenever that happens, whenever you have these big shifts, that's when you see the huge opportunities open up. Think about it. What if your refrigerator could just order your groceries for you?
Okay.
Based on whatever you need, your dietary restrictions, what you're running low on.
Right. That'd be amazing.
Or what if your car could drive itself while you just chill and catch up on emails or whatever?
That's the dream.
Right. Or a doctor being able to diagnose you without you even having to leave your house, all using some AI-powered tool. This is all stuff that's being built right now.
Wow. See, and it's all powered by, like we were saying, cloud computing.
Exactly.
When you put it like that, it sounds less like some crazy science fiction movie and more well, inevitable, I guess.
Right.
Like, it's going to happen.
Gonna happen.
Which is kind of wild, honestly.
It is. It is. It's definitely a little daunting. I'm not gonna lie.
A little, yeah.
But that's why we're doing this, right? That's why understanding all this matters. The more you know about how this stuff works, the more prepared you are for when it, like, really takes over.
That's a good point. It's like knowledge is power in this scenario.
Exactly. It really is. It's not just about surviving the robot uprising, although there's that too, right?
Right. Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. But really, it's about being able to use these changes, these technologies, to your advantage,
Yeah.
to make your life better, to create new things, to, like, actually shape the future.
Okay, wow. I did not think we'd be getting this deep into, like, the philosophical implications of AWS today.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it's true. It's not just about the tech. It's about what that tech enables. And I think, honestly, we're just starting to scratch the surface of what's possible.
That's what's both exciting and terrifying.
Right.
This whole conversation has been a serious eye-opener, I gotta say.
Mm,
Because, I came in thinking AWS was like, oh, it's for Amazon, it's for big tech companies,
yeah,
not something I needed to worry about.
right.
But it really does touch everything.
It really does.
Like, I'm starting to see the matrix now.
Yes.
The code behind everything.
That's what I love about it. It's like this whole hidden world, and once you start to see it, it changes how you look at everything.
It really does. And honestly, knowing even a little bit about how it all works, that's what sets you apart these days.
100%. It shows you're curious, that you're paying attention, that you're, like, ready to adapt.
Right, which is key in the tech world.
Exactly, because the stuff moves so fast, you got to be able to keep up.
Totally.
Yeah.
So to bring it back to Network Chuck for a sec,
Yes.
watching his videos, that's a good place to start. Or maybe you go sign up for that free AWS account like we were talking about.
Yes, do it.
Play around with it, see what it's all about.
Exactly. Get your hands dirty, that's how you learn.
Hands-on learning. I like it.
Yeah.
Even if you're just, like, reading an article about cloud computing after this, hey, that's a step in the right direction.
It is. Any little bit helps. It's all about staying curious, staying informed.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And honestly, the more we know about this stuff, the better equipped we are to, like, navigate whatever comes next, right?
Exactly. Because who knows what the future holds, but one thing's for sure. It's going to be powered by the cloud.
That is the truth. And who knows, maybe one day we'll have you back to tell us all about it.
I'd love that. Anytime.
Perfect. Well, until then, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this awesome knowledge with us.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
It's been a wild ride, for sure. All right, everyone, that's it for this deep dive. Now go forth and learn all the cloud things.